Hello. Today we're going to watch Dance Moms. Because Twitchy can't stop watching Dance Moms. I see these comments a lot on the YouTube videos. People will say like, help, I'm addicted to Dance Moms. I can't stop watching. I just keep starting the playlist over. I think there are a lot of reasons that people like to watch this show. Some people like the dancing part, the sport part, the training, the rehearsing. It reminds me to get my steps and to straighten my legs and point my feet. I think some people like to watch for the drama. There is a lot of drama. But I think for me, I keep watching because maybe I relate to it. Maybe I'm still processing some things from my own life. Here are a few moments from the show that I relate to. Number 1.
Do me a favor. Just smile.
Other people are like, woo, smile, yeah. Me, this is my best smile. Number 2.
I'm trying so hard.
I say this to myself pretty much every day. Also this one.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
This sentence appears many times in the show, but there's something so comforting in the way that Jill says it here. Even though Kendall can't even hear her. It's terrible that she has to even say it, but I find it comforting in my head. Number 4.
One who brought Chloe to this place that she can't get out of this headspace, and she's going to beat herself in her own mind.
I think a lot of people probably relate to the high level of pressure and perfectionism that was expected from the girls. I feel like we're sometimes taught that you're supposed to be the first one there and the last one to leave. If you made a 98 on your test, why did you miss a question? You were 10 minutes early, why not 15? You got second place, why not first? You won, why didn't you win twice? Sometimes it seems like no matter how hard we try, it's never enough, and this can be difficult for adults to handle. It actually lowers output when you feel this way. It can lead to self-sabotage, burnout. It's not good. But it's especially not good when you're a child. It can lead to a situation like this.
You're not a failure when you're 9 years old. Not at all.
No one is a failure, but especially when you're 9. Some people say that the teaching style in Dance Moms is just a tough love approach. It's tough teaching. But how much is too much? Where's the line? When does it change from helping to hurting? So I want to rewatch these episodes and think about these things, and maybe if I talk about it, I can process whatever my brain wants me to process. And maybe it'll help someone who's listening. So we know a little bit about how the show started. We know that it started as a 6-episode documentary. They were going to go to different dance studios for 6 weeks each, and then have them all compete at the national competition. I think this would have been successful also. We know that there were flyers around the studio for the auditions.
Because it was like an audition where you just like went in for like an interview with your mother. I honestly can't even remember. Was there a flyer? I feel like there was a flyer. It was just supposed to be like a documentary or something. It wasn't even supposed to be like a reality show.
They also talk about how they didn't really think much of it. It was just a presented opportunity that the other girls from the studio were sending in tapes and signing up for auditions. And Nia really wanted to do it. And then we know from Abby on Dr. Phil that the show was supposed to be mostly about the moms.
Around a dance studio, so it was to be 80% the moms, 10% the kids, and 10% the dancing, and 0% me. I was not on the show. It was not a kids' show.
And that they didn't choose the cast based on dancing.
These dancers out of kids that weren't initially the cream of the crop dancers.
Correct. They picked the moms.
They never saw the kids dance.
Nope. They saw the kids dance on videotape that the moms sent in. It was definitely about the moms.
And so they cast difficult people.
Correct.
So this whole thing was set up to be conflict television.
Yes.
Well, he's an expert. We also have what Ashley says here.
So I was hired to come in and shake things up. Like, that was my job.
I think that this is really interesting. Ashley was hired later in the show, so I don't know if they were that open with the early cast members about who was supposed to play which part. But if they did do that in the beginning, That would certainly explain some of the comments and feelings around who was to be the star of the show and the rivalry that was fostered. In the first episode, we meet the cast. This is sprinkled throughout the episode, but let's meet everyone first. So let's meet Abby.
I am the artistic director and the chief choreographer of the Abby Lee Dance Company
in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
People around the country know me. They know Abby Lee because I produce stars.
This is something that she says multiple times throughout the show.
I produce amazing, employable dancers. I know how to groom these children and raise these kids, some of them as if they were my own.
Okay, so we have some problematic words in this sentence, but before all of that, what we have here is interesting. These kids are at dance class. It's an extracurricular activity. But Abby's talking about them like they're family. I understand they do a lot of travel for competitions and things, so they spend a lot of time together on the bus and in the hotels. So it's more than just an after-school activity. They become sort of like a family. But is that good? How close is too close? How much time is too much time? What's it like to share a hotel suite with your teacher every weekend? I don't know, but it's an interesting dynamic already.
I'm preparing them for a career. We do it all in my studio so that when they get to real life, they're ready.
Okay, but they're already in real life. This is real life. Also, I think it's noteworthy the way she says that they do it all in her studio so that they're ready for real life. This is a sentiment that is repeated throughout the show. But some of the ways some of the things were done are problematic. So let's just remember this line for later. Next, let's meet Melissa, Maddie, and Kenzie.
These are my two daughters, Maddie and Mackenzie. Maddie's 8 and Mackenzie's 6, and they're both dancers.
Okay, that's fine.
Definitely think my girls are like little dolls. I love to dress them up.
And then they flip through some magazines where the girls are modeling.
X to B, it claims that dance has ruined our marriage.
So this is like a big plot line throughout the show, Melissa's marriage and divorce from the girl's dad. He appears in a couple of episodes. There's lots of stuff to read about that, but let's keep going. Melissa says to the girls that they're probably going to be in a lot more things this year. And then...
winning is everything to us.
Okay, that's not good. But also... hear how the audio is almost like those are two different sentences?
Maddie has won everything that she's done in the last year. She was undefeated last year.
Well, that's great for Maddie, but did you see Kenzie's face while she was saying that? I know sibling dynamics are hard. I know it's hard to be the younger one. It's hard to be the older one too, but in different ways. If you're the younger one, you can sometimes feel like you're already behind, because you literally are. Maddie has been alive for 2 years longer than Kenzie, so she is 2 years ahead of her. That's not Kenzie's fault. It's not Maddie's fault. It's no one's fault. It just is. So as the adults in this situation, it's important not to foster that feeling of inadequacy that the younger one already feels just from being the younger one. I also know that Melissa is being filmed right now. Perhaps production had told her to talk up Maddie, or to say certain things like the winning is everything to us.
My boyfriend knows how much I spend on dance because he signs the checks.
Whoa, this is the first episode. We already know so much about Melissa's life.
My ex calls me a crazy dance mom, but I really am not.
I mean, granted, she said all of it. It's not a scripted show. She offered all of that information.
I want our kids to be happy. That's what this is all about. It's about the kids and about them shining on stage and about them becoming stars.
I don't know. Is it about them being happy or about them being stars? Are child stars happy?
Maddie doesn't have a normal life. Her whole life revolves around dance. It's constant.
Okay, her whole life is dance. This is like before the show started. It was already this way. I don't know if that would make me happy as an 8-year-old.
But she loves it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that she loves it then. Notice how on the screen it says, "It's really weird." I'm not sure. I think it might have been Kenzie who said that, but production thought it was important enough to type the text out, which is interesting. And then the girls argue about, you always do this and you always do that.
Abby is a star maker. She's going to make my daughter be the best she can be, and she will make her a star.
Why do I feel like that's foreshadowing more than a compliment? Well, let's meet Christy and Chloe.
This is my daughter, Chloe, who is 9.
Yes, I am.
We love Chloe.
This is her state title that she's won, and she's also won a national title.
Hooray for Chloe.
It's my job to make sure all those little things are taken care of behind the scenes so that she can be the star that she needs to be on stage.
So Christy says that they're so dedicated to dance and they've missed so much.
We had our award ceremony.
For what?
School.
Oh, your grades. Okay. I do find myself at times, putting dance before school, and it's probably not right.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, this is before the show even really started. They're already feeling this way.
I pay Abby $16,000 a year to teach my daughter dance, but don't tell my husband.
Wow, we're really learning so much about these moms. It's mentioned several times throughout the show about how much they pay Abby, and I think it's really important. It reminds us that this is a dance studio. They're paying Abby to be a dance teacher. And then Chloe talks a little bit about her second place award and that Maddie won.
My daughter was usually number 2, but she was always in the mix.
And then she talks more about how Maddie is Chloe's biggest competition and says that if Chloe wants to be the best, she has to beat the best, and Maddie's the best. It looks like this rivalry was already in full swing, so let's meet Kelly, Brooke, and Paige.
These are my 2 daughters. This is Paige, she's 10, and Brooke is 13.
Do you see how Kelly introduces the younger one first? It's not a big deal probably, but it's kind of nice that she did that.
I'm very proud of my daughters. Brooke has been winning awards since she was 6 years old. And Paige also, last year, she won first place for interview.
And how she said something about both girls. They got equal time in her talking. And then Kelly shows the girls some pictures from when she was Brooke's age. And we find out that Abby was Kelly's dance teacher since she was 2.5. So Kelly has been with Abby for 37 years.
When I had 2 girls, I couldn't wait for them to be dancers.
And then we get a clip of Brooke saying that she might want to try out for cheerleading. And Kelly says that she doesn't want Brooke to quit dance, basically because she's 13, and that's an important age. This will come up again later. So then Kelly asks Brooke if it matters to her that she's not getting first and second place anymore. And Brooke says not really. Then we get a nice little scene of Kelly saying that she does a lot for them to be in dance and that they don't always appreciate it. And Paige says that's Brooke. I like this scene because I relate to Brooke a lot, and I know that her face doesn't always show the expected emotion, but she does appreciate her mom, and I think Kelly understands this, so it's actually kind of sweet. Now let's meet Holly and Nia.
Nia has a lot of confidence, and I think Nia has a lot of ability and talent. My goal for Nia this year is really for Nia to grow as a dancer.
So here's the first time that it's not about winning. Everything else we've seen so far has been about winning. Holly's goal is growth. And then we learn a little bit about Holly. She's currently pursuing a doctorate and is a principal. And then we find out that Nia has not yet won a title. And we get this very important scene with some prophetic foreshadowing.
This is my crown, but I just bought it because I had to have one. I haven't won one in dance.
You haven't won it yet, but it's coming, right?
Yeah.
It's coming.
I feel like taken out of context, this could sound like Holly is pushing Nia to win a crown, but I don't really get that here. I think she said that just as encouragement to Nia. Then Holly gives us a little setup. She says that Nia is not a featured dancer and that she wants more for her than to be a backup dancer. Now again, without knowing the rest of the show, it could sound like Holly's pushing Nia to be more, but we'll see why Nia is not a featured dancer, and it might not have anything to do with her dancing. You probably already have a sneaking suspicion, and as an avatar, I'm not sure that I should be talking on things of this nature, so let's wait until a better opportunity arises, because it will. Then Holly says that Abby can be tough, that she knows her business very, very well, and that she produces excellent dancers. We love the way Holly says things. These sentences are very telling without telling, but still telling. Abby is tough. She knows the business of dance. And again, we have a reference to the excellent dancers, the stars that Abby produces. Then she says that Abby demands a lot, and we see a clip of Nia crying and Holly comforting her. And then Holly says that she is not a doormat, and that you can't walk all over her or her daughter, and that one day it will be Nia's turn to shine. Nia just wrote a book. Now let's meet Kathy and Vivi.
Dance has been in my life since I've been 3 years old. My mom danced. My grandma danced. So Vivi has to dance. I think you like dance.
I love how Vivi is mouthing the words as Kathy is talking. Then Kathy says that she owns Candy Apple's dance center and has been a dance instructor for a long time. We get a clip of them practicing at home, and Vivi keeps forgetting a part. And then Kathy says that she is absolutely loaded with quirks, which is true. She loves bunnies, and that pink is her ultimate favorite color. And that pink is not a color, but a way of life. And then we get this adorable clip of Vivi.
I don't like pink.
And then we get some more foreshadowing.
You'll like me. I'm flamboyant and I'm funny, but just don't push my buttons and we won't have any altercations.
Okay, so now we have met the main cast. So we begin with everyone walking through the door and saying good morning to Abby, while Melissa is saying that it's the first day of the competition season, how crazy and how excited everyone is, and that she loves competition time. We get some clips of some classes. Then we get this scene of Paige and Nia.
1 and Okay, stop. I've told you 3 times in 5 minutes, it's not a step back. It's a back handspring. 2 feet. Do it right. Start again. Suck it up. I don't want to see those tears.
Oh my. So this clip is really important for several reasons. First, we see that Abby is sitting down, which is a thing that comes up a lot, so we see that right away. Also, it looked to me like the timing was off. I'm not a dancer, so I'm not sure if like Paige was late or Nia was early. But Abby's telling Nia, I guess, that she did a step out because both feet didn't touch at the same time. I don't know. But more importantly, then the clip changes to Mackenzie when she says to do it right. So we see her kind of sternly correcting the girls, but we also see the editing because I got confused. I don't think Mackenzie was in there at the same time. So it was like 2 different rehearsals that they put together. So then it's the first day of rehearsal for the Junior Elite competition team. The girls are sitting on the floor and Abby is standing by the chalkboard and she says,
You all know why you're here. You are the cream of the crop in your age group.
Well, that's interesting. But I guess it's nice that she told the girls that. But we know that she didn't really feel that way. Or, Well, let's just remember that. Abby says she has lots of new ideas, that she's going to do something that no other studio does. That every single competition they're going to do a new routine. Some of the girls seem nervous about this and they look over at their moms.
Girls, don't look at your mothers. I am the coach. I am the teacher.
Did you catch the finger snaps? I know she's the coach, but telling young children not to look at their mothers when they're confused or nervous is something. I know it's the first day of filming, so maybe it's nothing, but it reminds us again, Abby is their dance teacher. It's an extracurricular activity. She's the coach. And then we get this cute clip from Kenzie.
Sometimes when Abby yells, it makes me laugh because her face turns red.
That's adorable. But also, we're already getting that Abby yells a lot. Then we get,
I can make you or I can break you.
Now, here I would like to think about a couple of other shows that were on around the same time period. First, Super Nanny with Nanny Joe. This show is about Super Nanny Joe who would go to other people's houses and help them with their kids, with routines and schedules and whatever they needed. And so she would watch the family's submission tape in the car on the way there. And some of these were a little disturbing, and she would get upset in the car. But she would leave that in the car, and when the family opened the front door, she was kind and respectful and met them where they presented. The first day was mostly always just observation. She started out respectful and with understanding. Also, the show Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay. We know that he has a reputation for yelling and calling people donuts and such. But he would do the same thing as Nanny Joe. He knew the restaurant issues before he got there, but he went in with respect and understanding. He didn't yell unless he saw something really bad, like owners stealing from employees. Also, he often says that he believes that he can make anyone into a master chef. So I think for me, Nanny Joe and Gordon Ramsay illustrate the everyone can learn approach. The idea that with the right training, a conducive environment, maybe some interventions, anyone can learn anything. I personally like this approach more than the I can make you or I can break you. That's saying that it's all about the coach. It's one person that can either make you great or not. But maybe that's just a thing that she says. So then we see Kelly in confessional saying that most dance studios practice for 6 months before they perform their routine. She says that she thinks it's crazy that they're going to learn a new routine every week and compete it. So this explains why the girls were confused and looked at their mothers, although Maddie didn't look confused. But so we know that this is not typical for all dance studios to learn a new dance every week. I don't know, not being a dancer, like how crazy an idea this is, but we know that these children are going to be expected to do something that no one else does. That seems like a lot of pressure already. So then Abby spins around the old chalkboard and we see the very first pyramid.
At the beginning of each week, I have kind of like a pyramid thing.
Okay, so that makes it sound like they've always had a pyramid. She says that everybody's always trying to get to the top because everyone wants to be on top, of course.
But you have to work for it.
Oh, okay.
It goes on behavior, work ethic, attendance, as well as have they followed all the rules.
Okay, that seems pretty fair. Like everyone should have a chance.
She puts these kids in a pyramid. It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare for a child and an adult because we have to stand by and take it.
Oh, okay, so maybe it's not great.
Whoever is in the front and center, they can't make a mistake.
Oh, I see. So it's not a reward for good attendance. It's if you're at the top of the pyramid, you are front and center and you have to be perfect. I feel like maybe there are some conflicting ideals here, but let's see. And then Kelly corroborates that if you're at the top of the pyramid, you're in the front line. The camera seems very much focused on Maddie here. Every time I pause, it's on Maddie's face, which is interesting.
So, at the top right here, I have Maddie.
Oh, okay, so Maddie's at the top. Did you see how her hand was reacting to the photo? But I guess Maddie must have good attendance.
Because she is dedicated and because of her stellar record last year.
Right, so this is the first day of the new competition season. I feel like maybe on the very first day, maybe nobody is at the top. If it has to be based on last year, that's kind of not fair. Like Kenzie was 5 last year. How's she gonna be at the top? Maybe just introduce the pyramid the way that she did in the confessional. Like, here's a thing we're doing. It's a pyramid and it's based on, you know, attendance and behavior. Or like move the pictures around. This is what it would look like if Maddie's on top. And then let's pretend that Chloe won last week. So here's the pyramid with Chloe on top. And then, oh look, now Paige is on top. No? Like saying that you will all have a chance to be on top if they've never seen it or heard about it before, and it's already filled out. Did they really have a chance? Then Holly says that she's a little crushed for Nia because she's at the bottom, while Abby's asking Maddie if she can handle the pressure of being front and center. Well, it's kind of a little too late, she already is. Then we see Melissa saying that she feels bad because it seems like Maddie is always at the top, that the girls don't really like it and the moms hate it. Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like a cool idea at first, but then you think more about it and it's really just not fair. And it goes for the whole week. So every day they come in, they see Maddie's picture at the top and their picture at the bottom. It's like a visual reminder that Maddie's front and center. Which also translated by Abby's words, that Maddie must be perfect. And it's a lot of pressure for Maddie too. Like, she didn't ask for that. She was just being a good kid with good attendance. Then Abby says that this week's competition is in Phoenix, Arizona, which is kind of funny considering how often Phoenix is mentioned, especially in the later episodes. But we're not there yet. But it's funny. that they filmed their very first competition in Phoenix. Abby says that she chose Phoenix because she wants the girls to experience some of the best competition teams in the country. It's a little funny. So then Abby says that they're going to do 2 new numbers, a high energy, really cute, adorable routine with Maddie, Chloe, Paige, Brooke, and Nia, and then also a trio with Maddie, Chloe, and Paige. Abby says that unfortunately Kenzie is too young to compete at this competition, but she's still going to go with them. So again, how did she have a chance to be at the top of the pyramid? She's too young, but she's in the group. Abby tells the girls that they're going to win in Phoenix. And they're going to win the next competition and the next, and that's all gearing up for the nationals. That everything they do from this point forward is about the nationals. I think this is interesting. I feel like at this point, the production was still planning on the 6-week thing, so Abby's kind of helping them out here by mentioning nationals like this, like setting the stage for the show. So then Abby dismisses the moms and tells the girls, let's go to nationals and bring home a winning trophy. The moms go upstairs to the mezzanine where they watch the rehearsal, and Christy says,
Oh, we're back to dance jail up here.
That's funny. Then Abby starts the group rehearsal for the high-energy, adorable performance called Party, Party, Party. It's a theatrical jazz routine. So rehearsal seems to be going okay, and then out of nowhere we get this.
Abby sometimes has favorites in the studio, and my daughter just happens to be a favorite.
So here there would be many comments saying, Melissa, you have 2 daughters? But also, this is where Melissa's intro is in the episode. So let's assume that maybe production told her to say that or encouraged her to say it in that way. I don't think that teachers should have favorites, and if they do, no one should know who the favorite is. I know the moms are like there all the time, which Abby said on Dr. Phil was also not typical. But it seems weird to me that a parent would know who the teacher's favorites are. It's that blurred line between teacher and family. But maybe that's how competitive sports teams work. I don't really know. So rehearsal continues, and Abby says this, I guess, Abbyism.
Those legs are about as straight as Elton John.
Which I wanted to include in case we watch those extra bonus episodes later.
Watch that right elbow!
Wow, that echo. So also on Dr. Phil, they showed pictures of her classes.
That's also what my classes look like. Not 5 kids or 7 kids.
So maybe it sounds like she's yelling because there's usually like a ton of kids in there. So she's talking at the same volume she always did. But now that there's only 5 kids in the room, it sounds more echoey and loud. Maybe. But to me, it sounds the same as the, Kendall, you're chasing her. So maybe that's just her normal teaching. That's her teacher voice. So Abby says that it's 5 days out from competition and she has a lot of work to do. And the girls have a lot of work to do, and it's very stressful. Then Christy says that she's sat up there a million times before, she's seen 1,000 dances, and she's hoping that this year turns out a little bit better for Chloe. Why? Because she was second last year? Or does she mean something else? So in the mezzanine, Christy says to the other moms that she doesn't like this new pyramid thing, because to her it seems more like a Bermuda Triangle. Holly agrees and says that it's very divisive. Someone's at the top, someone's at the bottom. You're the star pupil and you're down here, and that no teacher does that in a classroom. The moms all sort of agree. I agree. And Kelly asks,
So are we surprised who's on the top of the pyramid?
Thank God.
I would have been shocked if someone else had been there. Now that would have been surprising.
See Melissa's face here? I get that she's upset because they're talking about her child, but like I mentioned, if production had told her, like, look, Maddie is the star of the show. So also right here, I've seen comments, but I don't know for sure, but that production had told Melissa to dress down, like just wear jeans and a nice shirt, but nothing too fancy. And you can notice that the other moms here are pretty dressed up. So I feel like maybe this is all true, that Melissa was told that her kid was the star. And that's fine, that's how TV works, there's always a lead. But it's hard for the other people.
Because my kid is the star. She is the most talented girl there. And if anybody has any problems with me, I'm just going to ignore it this year. I'm here for my daughter, and I'm not here to make friends.
Okay, did you catch her shirt? So the first part of that was filmed the same day as her intro, in the gray top and black sweater. And then the second half of that clip was filmed the same day as the pyramid because she's wearing the pink shirt. So I think that maybe she was told by production that the show, the 6-episode series, was supposed to focus on Maddie. Or actually, since it's Dance Moms, I guess it's Melissa who's the lead. And that's fine, that's okay. I'm not super mad about that. That's how TV works. So then it's day 2. So I guess Tuesday, maybe. And they're rehearsing the group dance. And we hear Melissa say in her intro film that when the moms watch the group dances, that it's obvious that they watch her daughter because she is the star and your eyes just go right to her. Then we see that Maddie isn't feeling well. She's a little off in the group rehearsal. And Melissa says if she pukes, I'm not cleaning it. I don't know who's supposed to clean it, but okay. I hope she's not sick.
Maddie, I know you're not feeling well, but suck it up. We gotta get through this, okay?
Holly says that Maddie looks green practically and pale. Like Holly is more concerned about Maddie than Melissa or Abby. But then Melissa gets up and says that she's crying and she goes down to check on her.
Sweetie, why the tears?
Because my stomach's hurting.
See that picture? That's the position you need to be in. Get too emotional. You have to worry about the win. Got it? No mishaps.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it takes a rocket surgeon to see what's going on here. I don't think Maddie is really sick. I think maybe she got a little freaked out by the cameras. But also, if she is sick, you just say suck it up and worry about the win. So Maddie goes back and does the routine again. Wait, and then Melissa gets up to go check on her again? Or maybe the conversation with Abby happened later? Then Melissa and Maddie go to the dressing room, and Melissa asks if Maddie feels like she's going to throw up. And she says no, but she's clearly crying. And Melissa says, stop crying, it's making it worse. Which is true, but what happens when you tell someone who's crying to stop crying? Does that ever work? Maddie says that she wants to go home, and Melissa says, what do you mean? You never leave dance class. Then we get a clip of Maddie in the den talking to the cameraman or a producer and saying that her stomach just started to hurt and she doesn't know why. Then it's back to Melissa holding Maddie and saying, you never miss dance class. Then we get a clip of Melissa saying with her intro shirt that she can't stand a child that's sick. Then we get the first of many times of Melissa saying that Maddie is a perfectionist, that she got sick once, maybe 2 years ago, but has never missed a day of dance. So Maddie goes back into class, and then we see Melissa saying that Maddie works so hard because to make it to Broadway or to a TV show, you really need to focus on dance all the time, and that they never stop. Well, you are on a TV show, like right now. But also, like we heard her earlier saying that Maddie's whole life is dance. I get that to be a star, you have to eat, sleep, and breathe, whatever it is, but Maddie is 8. Like, what are most 8-year-olds doing? So it's the next day now, I guess Wednesday, and there are 3 days till competition, and now it's time for the trio rehearsal. Before they start, Abby tells Paige that she needs to put her feet together because she's bow-legged and she needs to fix that. I don't know, I'm not a dancer, but to me it looked like she was just standing there awaiting instruction. So they start the rehearsal and Paige is kind of not sharp with her movements. She seems nervous to me. Again, maybe the cameras. So Abby says, sharper Paige, hit, and she models it, which is great. But then she says,
you're tall, you're skinny, you're a beautiful girl, you can do better than this.
Those things are not the same. But okay, now we know that Paige is the pretty one. But that has nothing to do with how sharp her arm movements are. I mean, that's a nice compliment, but it doesn't really help her know what to do. And then we get this statement from Abby.
People think I'm tough, and I guess I am, But I'd rather be the one that makes your child cry in the privacy of my studio instead of crying in front of 800 people at an open audition.
So perhaps this is part of the we do everything at the studio? Make them cry at the studio so that they don't cry at an audition? How about we don't make kids cry? Can we just do that? Did you see Kelly's face at the beginning of the clip? That's my face too. So the trio rehearsal continues. It looks okay, and then we get another clip of Abby talking.
I want to fix their shoulders and their rib cage, distended neck, their turnout, everything that's wrong before somebody else in the professional world has to tell them.
I'm an avatar, not a dancer, but like, is that how an audition goes? They tell you about your rib cage? Like, that doesn't sound like coaching to me. It doesn't sound like technique to me. That sounds like picking on their bodies and their physicality. And also, she's 11. But don't worry, this will come up more.
Paige, come here. I'd have your head on a platter. Yes? Do you understand? All right, man up. Get out there.
What? Did you just threaten to eat Paige's head? Oh, whoa. Okay, well, let's put aside the not veiled threat of violence and focus on the part where she asks if Paige understands. What is she supposed to understand? What did she learn? Did you see how terrified Paige was when Abby said, "Come here"? This is a dance class?
If I see flaws that haven't been corrected, I correct them. That's my job. And sometimes that's offensive. I think that's where the tough comes in, but it's like tough love.
Okay, whoa. Yes, it is Abby's job to teach them correct movements. And then the first part where she modeled how Paige's hands were supposed to be like sharper, that was great. She labeled the problem. She showed her how it should look. The offensive part was the head on a platter thing. That's not constructive feedback. And to be quite honest, if I was 11 and my teacher said they would have my head on a platter, I couldn't go back. I would be so scared. But Paige is braver than me. A brave soul, Paige is.
My baby. Don't cry, Angel.
Abby was so injured.
It's okay. Don't cry. Don't worry about it.
I like how the editors put the caption of what Paige said. It's really important, and they already saw that. But I also think it's interesting because probably the cameramen are men, right? So I kind of wonder what they thought when they were filming. Like, what would you think? Then we get Kelly's intro with Brooke and Paige, and it reminds us that Kelly has been with Abby for 37 years. So I think that's why it doesn't bother her as much, the things that Abby says, because she's like used to it and how Abby is. But Paige hasn't been with Abby for 37 years. So for her, it's different. So now it's the next day, I guess Thursday, and here's Kathy. So it's raining outside, and Kathy and Vivi walk into the studio, and Melissa greets them at the front desk. Kathy offers her hand to Melissa, but says, "Oh, that one's wet," and Melissa says, "Oh, that's okay," and laughs a little. So I don't know how we thought that she was grossed out by sick kids if she didn't care that Kathy was gonna shake her hand with a wet hand. So Kathy says that they want to sign up for classes and that they want to do competitions. And then we get Kathy's intro. And then Kathy explains that she is a dance teacher and that she has taught Vivi dance, but now she's thinking that maybe it would be better if Vivi has a different teacher, which I kind of agree with. It would be hard to be a mom and a coach, or to have your mom be your coach. So I get that. And then we get this great scene with Abby meeting Kathy.
I own Candy Apple's Dance Center. Does that ring a bell?
So you're the dance teacher.
I am the dance
I'm sorry,
teacher.
and this is your daughter.
This is my daughter.
So you're here as the mom.
I am here as the mom.
Not the dance teacher.
No, I am.
You're not looking for a job.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yes.
I like this clip because I feel like Kathy didn't mean like a job at Abby's studio. She meant like a job with the show, which is funny. So Kathy tells Abby that she would like to see Vivi compete with them this weekend. Abby seems surprised. It's like 2 days away, but Kathy says we can do it. We get a clip of Abby saying that moms come from all over to bring their children to her, that they want to be a part of the Abby Lee Dance Company, that they come for her. We see Vivi practicing some things and showing Abby all of her moves, but she can't do some of the things that Abby's asking her about, but that's okay. And then Kathy says that they have a little piece prepared, and I would like to point out that Abby is the one who actually asks Vivi if she wants to show her the dance. So Vivi shows Abby a part of a dance that she already knows, and then Abby says that there is no way that Vivi is ready to compete this weekend and that she needs to work with her a lot more before she's ready.
And you know this from having your own school.
Yes.
I have people that want to be in the dance company just to get the outfit. The money doesn't matter. Here's my kid. Do whatever you want. I need mom to step out of the picture. So I'm going to be the teacher, all right? You're going to look at me.
I guess I don't understand why they can't look at their moms. Does it like mess them up or something? And then Kathy says in confessional that maybe it's time for her to just be the mom and for someone else to be the coach. So then Abby says that she'll take them out front and get them signed up, and Kathy is very excited to be joining the team. She says that Abby is making out well here because she is a dance teacher, so maybe she'll be able to help Abby with the choreography and give feedback, bring great things to the team, which is also a little funny. So it's the next day, which is the day before the competition. They're in group rehearsal. So Abby stops them and says to make sure that your supporting foot is turned out, which is fine. That's a great correction. But then she has Maddie demonstrate how to do it correctly, which I guess is also fine because she's the front and center one this week. But let's just hang on to that. So this rehearsal is interrupted by a dramatic event. This is kind of a well-known scene. However, I don't really see much like comments about this mother-daughter duo. So a woman walks in the door and straight to the back, and Abby is explaining it looks like later because she's standing in the lobby area where the mom just walked through, so it had to be filmed after the incident. But Abby's explaining there was a student who was called in to the studio for a routine that she was picked special for, and she had socks and a t-shirt on. I have seen this episode at least 10 times, and this is the first time that I'm noticing that Abby says that the student was called in. So this was not a normal, regularly scheduled session for the student. She was called in special. So she came how she was, right? Maybe they were out running errands and they just came in the way she was dressed. I never really caught that part before, so it's even more interesting. But okay, so the student is wearing socks and a t-shirt. Abby continues and says that they were to wear tights and a leotard, and that she made 2 other students change their clothes because it's an acrobatic routine and they're doing a lot on their knees and they have to be in their bare feet. Okay, so take her socks off? Yeah? They show the student later in the lobby and she's not wearing a t-shirt. It's like a tank top. I don't know what they're called, but it looks like athletic wear to me. It's not like a giant turtleneck with baubles or something. And socks are removable. I guess I understand a leotard is different from like shorts and a shirt, right? But there's also a costume shop in the building, so she couldn't buy a new leotard. Wouldn't that make more money? So this mom who walked in, she opens the rehearsal door and asks to speak to Abby. Abby says, no, I'm in rehearsal. Then the mom says that she wants to speak, that Abby can't just throw her kid out of class that she paid for. And Abby says she's not dressed appropriately. So here, I don't know, the mom like takes it in a different way, like she's not understanding. She says that all the kids are dressed like kids, which is true. She wasn't like inappropriately dressed, like inappropriately. She just had socks on. But instead of responding to this, Abby turns it personal and mentions the mom's job and tells her to basically act better. So far, I haven't seen her do anything bad. And then the mom says basically like if you see something wrong, you should try to fix it. And that Abby's not going to do this to her kid. And now she's mad, right? Because Abby ignored her. First, she asked to speak with her. Abby said no. Then she said that she feels her kid is dressed appropriately. And Abby makes a personal comment. So yeah, now she's mad. But she really tried to start the right way. So then Abby tells her out, and like walks her out of the room. And I thought they were going to go talk about it, like somewhere else. But no, like Abby's telling them, like, leave. And then...
Every week we put the trash out. Go.
Then take yourself out because you're the biggest piece of trash there is.
I feel like this maybe is the moment right here. I would actually be interested to know, but someone, maybe the camera people, maybe the director, maybe a producer, but someone was like, oh no, we're staying here. We struck gold. So now the mom is in the lobby, I guess waiting for the kids so they can leave. And Abby says straight up, you cannot take acrobatic class in socks. Which I totally understand. You can't be doing flips and stuff if you have socks on, you're gonna slip and fall. That's a good safety measure. But socks are removable. And then Abby like says something about how she had corrected the student on like a move. I'm not sure exactly what she says there, but then she yells, how can you...
Remember that, and you can't remember to turn your feet out.
Like, look at her body language here. But also like, now I'm even more confused. Is she being kicked out of the studio because she's wearing socks or because she can't remember to turn her feet out? Like, both of those don't seem like reasons to leave the studio. But, okay. So Abby says, that's pathetic. Go somewhere else. Take your money. Take your kid. Take your socks. Find another school. And the kid is standing there like, what is even happening? And then we get another great TV line.
Has it not hit in your head that maybe you're wrong? No! Do you not?
And then the mom says, why are you right? And Abby says, because it's my building. I mean, yes, okay, we do have laws that like the owner or worker of a business does have the right to refuse service to a customer for various reasons. But I think what the mom is saying here is really important. It's really important to be able to self-reflect and think, hey, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I'm being too hard. Maybe we could just take the socks off. And Abby is just like, no. So yeah, the mom is mad and she follows Abby around the building for a little bit. It's cut off a little bit, but it sounds like the mom is saying like to Abby that she always says how stupid her kid is, which is crazy, but okay. And then Abby says she's not stupid, she just can't read. Okay. And then Abby says the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And the mom says, oh, you're saying I'm stupid. And Abby says, well, you're quit chasing me. So again, she's asked a direct question by this mom, and she deflects. Which, I mean, it's awkward. They're walking around the studio yelling at each other. But, like, is this really about socks, or did something else happen between these two that we don't know about? And then the mom says that she has more education than Abby will ever have because she went to school and that unfortunately Abby didn't. Which out of context is not a nice thing to say. But this whole idea, the level of education that people have is like a running theme of the show. So then Abby goes into another class and asks a kid to borrow their phone. And the mom right away says, call the police. Which is also a thing that happens several times on the show, Abby calling the police. And then Abby is like apologizing to the class that she interrupted and saying that there's a psycho in every batch.
Psycho! Yes! Her name's Abigail Miller!
Like, wow. Okay, so yeah, this sounds like maybe it's about more than socks. But like, isn't this dance class? Like, what is happening? I don't think production expected this at all. But hey, it's a day in the life of the ALDC. I guess. I mean, it is, but yeah. So then Abby is talking to the police. Holly comes down and tries to de-escalate. She asks if the mom is okay. She's clearly not. She says she's not. And Holly asks again, like, change your answer. But the mom doesn't. She says, no, I'm not okay. She's mad. She's having the cops called on her over some socks. So Holly tries to like shush the mom, and we see Abby on the phone saying that she has a parent who's out of control. And it cuts back to the mom and Holly, and the mom is saying, I can't stand her. And then we get this fun line.
She does not have weapons, just her mouth.
Which, yeah, is good TV, but can you imagine the operator at the emergency services? Okay, so socks, bad. Turnout, bad. Mouth, bad. Okay, so you need help with what now? So then it cuts to a clip of Melissa saying that the mom came into the studio screaming. Respectfully, she did not. She came into the studio angry. Yes, her body language was angry. The way she walked was angry. Her volume was loud, but so was Abby's. Like, it was sort of the same volume level. And she didn't really raise her voice until Abby brought up her job instead of responding to what she was saying. So Melissa's explaining that the mom went from room to room screaming because she was just at the brink, while they show Abby on the phone saying that she doesn't know where the dangerous mom is, that she went outside, and that Abby walked into a room where her senior class is warming up to borrow a phone. And then she corrects a student on her feet, right there, while she's standing there talking to the operator. Then they show the mom and the daughter calmly walking out to the parking lot while Holly is saying bye to them. So then Abby tells the senior group that she borrowed the phone from to go in the other room. So I'm a little confused. I thought they were warming up in there when you borrowed the phone. Like, it was so dangerous of a situation that they all had to go into one room and then stretch. She apologizes to them as they leave that they had to see that. So then it shows the police officers talking to the mom. They're already in the car. They're already leaving. I think the operator and the police and everything, I think they did well with the situation. They came out. It was de-escalated. The mom left. After she pulls away, the police officer turns around, and it's very slight, but it looks to me like the police officer is a little confused. Like, he just talked to everyone, he wrote the report, and he's still like, socks?
A little shaky. Have to get myself together. Get back into rehearsal and worry about the competition this weekend.
Yeah. So then it's the next day. It's competition day. Abby is saying that every week they go to a new competition and that all of this traveling is about the nationals. So we're going to Phoenix. Abby talks about that this competition is a really big deal, that everything is top-notch, and they're very qualified judges. And then we see them get out of the van with the luggage.
When we walk in anywhere for a dance competition, we're like the glammed up Beverly Hillbillies. I mean, we've got dream duffels and rolling makeup cases and light up makeup mirrors.
Okay, stay with me. They bring a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No. She has 2 pieces of luggage, Abby. She brings it, she carries it.
First of all, who tells them to bring all this stuff? Don't worry, we'll see more about that soon. Holly was just trying to help her daughter. She had 2 luggages, so she carries one, Holly carries one. That seems fine to me. I don't know. It seems to me the faces everyone is making, like this is just a little silly maybe. It's the first competition. They're in Phoenix. Holly was going to carry a suitcase. How dare.
The competition starts right now when you walk into this building. Do you understand me?
Yeah, okay. But nobody was doing anything wrong. But I do agree that the competition does start, even in the parking lot. Like, you never know who's behind you or near you. Then we get what I think is a really important line.
Every time the Abby Lee Dance Company walks into a competition, they're representing a legacy. Kids who've danced before them that were amazing. And so much is at stake because we don't want to be the ones who lose.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's a nice sentiment, but I want to point out also that Abby is also representing a legacy. She is also representing all the kids before who were amazing. Yes, it's on the kids to continue that legacy, but it's also on Abby. Okay, let's see what happens at competition. So they're checking in, and Kelly and Christy are laughing.
Shh, ladies. Library voices. Okay.
This clip is kind of funny, but also at the beginning of it, Kelly is next to Christy, and at the end, she's way over by Melissa, but I didn't see her walk. So I'm not really sure who was being shushed, but it's kind of funny. And then Abby is telling the girls that she doesn't want any flip-flops or booty shorts walking through the competition. She wants them covered and dressed appropriately. So I guess no socks. But again, I do agree, because they are already at the competition. They should be representing the team and whatnot. But also, again, nobody's really done anything wrong.
Then Abby starts with her rules. Girls.
And then it cuts to Brooke shushing the girls, which is cute. Then they walk into the dressing room and argue over areas.
That's where I'm going. This is where I'm going.
We were here first, Christy.
Settle down there, hot pants.
Not really. I think it's funny. They plug in their light-up makeup mirrors and get started getting ready. There's 40 minutes to curtain call. They show the girls putting on makeup while Holly is saying that whenever they go to competitions, it's a whirlwind of hair, makeup, mayhem. It's about who's getting the best spot, who's going to get done first, who's going to look the best.
It is beyond crazy.
So they're all hard at work getting ready, and then Abby comes in the room from I don't know where.
Hey, how we doing, guys?
Good.
I hate this last minute crap, ladies.
Well, okay, they're doing it, but hang on to that.
Where are the hats? Can I see the hats?
Okay.
Looks nice.
Yeah, no,
I think it looks great.
Oh, okay, she's pleased with the hats. Notice Christy and Chloe's face at the end.
Christy did.
Okay. Listen.
Are the hats less great now that Christy made them? Because that's kind of sad. She made the hats, and she gets, ooh. Cool, I bet she'll want to make a lot more hats. Then Abby is sitting making hats, and the hats are blank still.
Okay, tell me what you want to do, and I'll do it.
So, like, is she remaking the hats, or did Christy only make one? Like, Abby hates this last-minute crap, but here we are last minute making the hats. Did we not know that we had hats in this routine? Then we get, like, a voiceover of Kelly saying that the fact that the hats weren't done an hour before they go on stage is very typical. That they're always stoning costumes right before they go on, and that everything is always last minute. But Abby hates last-minute crap. So then Abby sees Paige's nails and says that she has already told her about her nails, that Abby doesn't care if they have fake nails, but the white French tips draw attention to your hands and not everybody has them. And Kelly says, I told her that I wasn't taking them off. So Paige did what she was supposed to do. She relayed Abby's message to her mom. Her mom said no. And Abby says, so what? Like, what's the problem? Why are there nails? And Kelly says, well, it's not like pink and purple, it's a white French tip.
I don't think this is where we're supposed to be going. I think I was supposed to be talking about the group and their dance.
Well, you brought it up to the kid. And then Abby says, it's not whatever. And then back to Paige and says that you need to listen to me. She did. She told her mom. Her mom said no. And then Kelly says, well, then give me the $20 to take them off her hands and her sister's hands. And Abby says, someone give me my purse. Look, again, as an 11-year-old, I would have been really scared here. I would have thought that she was going to rip my nails off. Like, how? Are you just going to remove the polish from the top? Can you do that with fake nails? It seems like this process is going to take some time. And it's last minute, and Abby hates last minute crap. So I don't actually know what happens to their nails. It just kind of ends. And then we see Christy ask Kelly if she wants to get a drink, like real quick. And Kelly says, okay. I mean, I can't blame them. Like, Christy's been shushed. Abby didn't like the hats she made after she found out that she made them. Kelly had to defend removing her kid's nails. So yeah, I mean, okay, let's get a drink. I assume they went to the hotel bar, right? So it's like right there in the same building. And they put a label on that says 30 minutes to curtain call. So they sneak out and sprint to the bar, and they have an interesting conversation at the bar.
If she screams at those kids one more time, I'm gonna lose it.
That's fair. It's been quite a day so far.
I know you need to get Maddie seen. I understand that's like the whole goal of all of us doing anything.
So again, we already have this idea that Maddie is the focus, and it's kind of sad. Like, we haven't even barely started yet. I get it, she's the star, but the other kids matter too. It's a team. And then Christy said that she's not getting new headshots made.
You spend $30 billion to dance for her, and then you get all over.
Then Abby walks in and says they're ridiculous.
They are in a bar drinking, and their kid needs to be on stage in 20 minutes. Bad parenting 101.
It's not that big of a deal. They were gone for 10 minutes. I mean, yeah, okay. But also, like, I don't think that makes them bad parents. So Abby walks them out. Christy compliments another dance team, and Abby says, let's go, let's go. And Kelly says, oh, we're not even allowed to talk. So then we're back in the dressing room. Holly is helping Nia stretch, and Melissa is telling Kenzie no more makeup. Christy and Kelly come back in, and Kelly says that they were at the bar making friends. Holly says she should have known that's where they were. So then Kelly is curling Paige and Brooke's hair. Christy at this point is still making hats. Then while Kelly's putting away the curling iron, it somehow burns Paige on the arm. The camera was like panning away because they were done, so it's really hard to see what like really happened, but Paige got burned a little bit on her arm. I mean, it probably did hurt. Like, that would be me who gets like weirdly injured. Weirdly. Poor Paige. There's already so much stress going on, and now she's burned.
I don't know if I turned or Paige bent down. Somehow my curling iron burnt Paige on the arm.
So everyone tries to comfort Paige. They get her ice. They try to make her laugh. Maddie tells her a secret to help her feel better. I don't know how I feel about the secret, so you can watch that for yourself. Let's see the competition. So Abby explains what the judges are looking for.
The judges are going to be looking for flawless technique, innovative choreography, perfect precision,
And also fabulous costumes. Alright, so now we know what we're looking for. In the hallway on the way to the stage for the group dance, Abby is talking to the girls. She points out a group standing near them and says, see those girls with the legs? You're going to be up against them, so you need to step it up. And then she says that she's under a lot of stress.
I am under a lot of stress. For parents, this is an after-school activity. For me, it is my livelihood.
I mean, I get it, it's her job, but again, we're reminded that this is an after-school activity. So back in the hallway, Abby is asking about the hats and if they're like in good. And she says that if it's loose, ask someone backstage for a bobby pin. There's probably a bunch laying around on the floor. Paige says something about like doing an aerial, like the hats are gonna move when they're upside down, which is fair. And Abby says,
But that's dangerous. What if she was at Radio City Music Hall and the thing was open for the ice skating rink to come out and she did a side aerial and fell 13 stories down and died?
I thought we were talking about party hats. Now they're worried about the floor falling out. Like what? That would scare me so bad if I was 11. And then like a couple days ago, she told Paige she'd have her head on a platter. Now she's telling her she's gonna fall and die. And they're about to go on stage. Like, I would be so scared. And then we see Abby say,
Be perceived as a little edgy in my teaching methods. However, when you walk into my classroom, it's a professional environment. And I'm gonna give it to you straight, just like you're gonna get it in the real world.
Look, she told the camera exactly what the judges are looking for. Why didn't she tell the girls just like that? They're looking for a technique. They're gonna look at your costumes. They're gonna look at how well you work together. No, she scares them about the floor and that they might die. And to do better than the girls with the legs. So right at the end of the stage area, Abby is telling them something about turning and sauteing, and they look confused. Paige says in confessional that Abby is the one who can really mess them up backstage because she always comes back and like frustrates them. She tells them not to forget their dance and straighten their legs, and that it kind of makes them really nervous, and they don't like when she's backstage with them. So the group performance goes on, and you can hear Abby talking while they're dancing, like saying, head up, sloppy, late, don't know what they're doing. And then they show a clip of Melissa, I guess, filmed after the dance, and she's saying just how talented Maddie is and how beautiful. And yeah, I agree, Maddie is talented and beautiful.
I just find so much joy when I see her dancing on stage, and I know she's going to be a star someday.
Foreshadowing. So then back to the dance. Abby is still making comments off stage about their performance. I don't know if like the judges could hear her or the girls could hear her, but she's like standing right there saying all the things that they're doing wrong. We get a clip of Kelly saying that pretty much wherever they go, they place. And the awards are next, so let's see if they place.
Party, party, party. A second.
So they got third place. I love this clip of Melissa and Kenzie. Okay, so then they all talk about what it's like to lose, because third place is losing for sure.
And I won 11 competitions, and I don't really know what it's like to lose.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe she means like in solos and this is a group dance. I don't know. It's the first competition of the show, though, and of the season. But I guess they're still thinking this is just a documentary.
Losing never really feels good. It's not the greatest feeling.
They're so sad. Like someone fell 13 stories down or something. They got third place. They placed. But yeah, they're all really sad that they lost.
I really need these girls to get their act together.
Okay, look, she told us what the judges were looking for. She said technique, choreography, precision, and costumes. And while they were dancing, she was saying things like they don't know what they're doing. Well, she's the teacher, so if they don't know what they're doing, who needs to get it together? Plus, if the judges heard her pointing out all the things they did wrong, I don't know. Would that have an effect on the judging? Abby says that if they keep getting third place, they're going to be doomed for nationals. So, I guess if we're still going with the original premise for the show, and the ALDC is supposed to meet up with all these other studios that we meet throughout the year at the nationals, and they're the first studio that was shown, if they don't qualify for nationals, that would be bad, I guess, for a TV show, maybe. But it's kind of already starting this idea that gets repeated many times throughout the show that no one would watch unless they won, which I strongly disagree with. I don't think people watched because they won. I think people watched because they like bonded with these people, with the cast, with the characters of the show. So then we get a clip of Christy saying that the group dance was a disappointment and that if they don't win with the trio, they go home losers. Which, I mean, I guess technically, but they're not losers. This is just one competition, 1 week. So then they have to hurry back to the dressing room to change the girls for the trio. They're doing their hair 5 minutes to curtain call. While they're getting ready, we get more of Christy saying that they've never lost, they're not used to it, it doesn't feel good, and now she's nervous about the trio. They had literally 5 minutes to get changed. I don't know why. I mean, the judging was like right before it seems, or something. I don't know. Maybe the trio girls shouldn't have been at the awards. They could have just been changing. So they all go back to the stage area. The girls go on stage. It's going okay, they're dancing, and then this happens.
She can't even see right now.
So yeah, I mean, that's a problem, especially with the whole the floor could fall and you could die thing. But now Chloe literally cannot see on stage. But she does great, she keeps going, she does all the moves, and at the end, the headband is totally down around her neck. But she did a great job for not being able to see. She even did an aerial. The girls go up to the moms when they get off stage, and Christy tells Chloe that she did great. Paige says she wasn't nervous at all and that it was awesome. Abby comes up and like shushes them and directs them to leave the room and like points to Christy like she's in trouble. Which I get, they're like right in front of the stage and there's cameras around and yeah, they should probably move. But then...
What's your deal?
We need to talk.
So they go in the hallway and Abby is holding her arms out like she wants an explanation.
It came forward. What did you want me to do?
You're in the bar having a drink and her headpiece is falling off.
No, Abby, that's not correct. She was at the bar like a long time ago, like before the group dance. She was not at the bar during this dance. So then Christy says that it didn't fall off, it came forward, and that it didn't fall on the stage, which I guess I get why that's different. It didn't fall off. Like, do you lose points if something falls on the stage? I could see that. But it didn't. It just fell down her face. It didn't fall off. And they had 5 minutes to put it on. So it kind of makes sense that one wasn't attached all the way. Like, you could see at the end, you could still see the pin holding it to Chloe's hair. So it was pinned. It just wasn't pinned enough and it fell forward while she was dancing. And that's not ideal, but, like, it's okay. I don't think it's really going to change the outcome of the performance. So Christy says that Chloe's fine, and Abby's like, she's fine, what about me? Then it's time for the trio awards. We get a clip of Chloe saying that winning means a lot to her because it feels good. We cut back to Christy and Abby still in the hallway. Christy says that mistakes happen because we're human, and Abby says you are, and that mistakes like that don't happen to her. Well, okay, Chloe couldn't see, but she danced great. Christy says that she's not going to have Abby treat her like this because she's an adult, and Abby says to act like one. You know, maybe this is like for the camera because it's like the end of the first episode, so maybe Abby's being a little extra, maybe. Christy says, you're screaming at me in front of all these people, and like they are in the lobby with cameras and stuff. Abby says that she screwed up and that if she comes on the trip with them, then Chloe is Christy's responsibility and that Christy should stay in the dressing room. And then we get this iconic line.
The headpiece is sewn in the head.
Oh, the foreshadowing. The headpieces get sewn in the head. No falling headpieces. So Abby says, do you understand? Next time, get it right. Oh, okay, so it's resolved. That's good. And then Christy says, remember, I pay your bills.
You work for me. I pay you to teach my daughter dance.
And then she's not going to have Abby treat her like this. It cuts back to the awards and the trio wins. First place. Hooray! It's almost like the headband falling didn't matter. Also, Abby wasn't standing there critiquing next to the judges. They win, they get their award, and Maddie says that they won. That means that they were the best. And, I mean, yeah, that's a fair sentence. It cuts back to the hallway, and Christy says it'll never happen again. If only. If only. So Abby says, I hope not. And Christy says this conversation is done.
I'm done.
And you pay your bill late, by the way.
I do not pay my bills late. We'll talk.
So this thing with Abby accusing them of paying their bills late and them being surprised by that statement will happen again. And it's Christy is the one that told us that she pays Abby $16,000 a year. Does that sound like someone who pays their bills late? Like, if she was late, she wouldn't know the exact total? Like, I have trouble believing that they're paying her late, but we'll just hang on to that. And then Abby says this.
Christy is going to be the death of me. That woman is going to cause her child to be expelled from my studio.
Because of the headband? Because why? Why would Chloe be expelled?
I don't know how much longer I can put up with Abby. I don't care if Chloe ever dances again. I can't put up with this woman anymore.
I can't believe how much this first episode is like a microcosm of the whole series. Like it's all right here, and yet hasn't even started yet. Thanks for watching. Have a happy day.